Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the backspin. A backspin's a really great spin to learn at a very basic level because it's great for your balance and also really helpful when you start to do your jumps, especially when it comes to your double jumps. Why is this? Because it's very similar to your in-air position. Your in-air position is this position right here where you're standing on the right foot, and that's exactly where you're going to be in the backspin and also in the middle of the air during your jumps. So if you can practice this in the backspin now, then hopefully when it comes to the jumps, you'll learn that feeling in that position and it will help you get that really efficient rotation when it comes to the jumps. So a backspin, unlike the upright spin, is on the right foot instead of the left foot. Now we will be rotating the same way. Usually when you learn skate, you always rotate the same way when you spin. There are some people that will like to spin the other way, but usually it's either for fun or because it's an interesting look. But most people spin always the same way. It's just the feeling that they have. So try and work with your spins a little bit. Try and maybe practicing both ways at the beginning, seeing which one works for you the best. But just for me, in my instance, I'm going to be spinning anti-clockwise around my left shoulder, and that's majority of people that skate spin that way as well, so that's why I'm going to be teaching it. So as I mentioned, we're going to be spinning on the right foot, not the left foot, but we'll be spinning the same way as the upright spin that you may have looked at in our basic levels. So a great way to first start off with this backspin is, without moving at all, to put your left toe in the ice, your left arm in front and your right arm behind. You may recognize this from some of the other jumps that you may have learned. With your position, your check position, we're going to use our right arm for rotation, we're going to use our left toe pick to push, and we're going to go straight into our backspin here. Now notice that when I went into my backspin position, my left foot didn't stay by the side. I wasn't spinning in this position. This is very key in the backspin. This is going to really help you with the balance. You want to make sure that after you push off with your left foot, it folds in front of the right foot. And you end up in a cross position with that feet. So the left foot is crossed in front of the right foot. That's the position that you want to be in with the legs. Not too high up with the left foot, not too across here. You want to be quite nice and tight. At the beginning, maybe just in front, but by the time you get comfortable in a backspin, you want to get into a nice tight position in the backspin. So again, left arm in front, right arm behind, the left toe pick goes in, you use the left toe pick to push off, and your right foot stays exactly where it is, and you spin over that right foot in your nice tight backspin position. So something else when you're concentrating on your entrance going into this backspin at the basic level is your arm. So my left arm is in front and my right arm is behind. Now notice my right arm comes around, but my left arm folds into my body. My left arm doesn't go around like my right arm. It doesn't end up behind me. My left arm always stays in front of me and it goes from here to here. Whereas my right arm, to generate rotation, goes from all the way back around here, creates a big semicircle and comes all the way into your body here to create some nice rotation in that backspin. Now remember, when you've got your balance, the faster you spin, the easier it will be to balance. But if you're spinning fast and you start to slightly go off balance, then there's more of a chance that it's going to be exaggerated. So you want to make sure you always keep good balance throughout it, whether you're going slow or fast with the spin. But obviously, the more balance you have, the faster you should be able to find yourself going. If we want to take the entrance up a level and we want to try and start increasing the difficulty of it, we're going to start adding in some movement going into this backspin. So just the same as our upright spin, once we get slightly advanced, we've got our outside edge in the upright spin turning into our spin. For the backspin, as everything's opposite, we're going to be going in on a forward inside edge. So you'll be in the same position with the arms, the left arm in front and right arm behind, but you'll be on an inside edge on the right foot going into this backspin. So the curve will be the same as the entrance for the upright spin. It will be constantly getting tighter, just like you're drawing a spiral on a piece of paper, getting tighter and tighter and tighter, using that knee bend and that lean of your body to help you get into that tight edge. On the end of the edge, same as the upright spin, you'll find yourself hitting that toe pick. It's a forward stop motion, so you've got all that momentum going forwards on the edge, and finally it all turns into rotational momentum when you hit that toe pick, and it stops your body on the spot, it stops your foot on the spot, so hopefully you can spin right on the spot. In an ideal spin, you want to be spinning directly on top of each circle on top of each other. You don't want to be moving. We call that traveling in spins, and traveling isn't necessarily a good thing. It doesn't look good and really affects your balance as well. It's really difficult to balance when you're traveling. So try and make sure you keep this spin centered as possible, keeping your knee nice and soft to start off with to find your balance, and then when you feel you have got your balance, pulling everything into that right side, not over to the middle or not over to the left side. On this backspin, because you're on the right foot, you want all of your weight over the right side, so you want everything pulling in to the right side here. So the free leg on our slightly more difficult entry will be behind you to start off with, and it will be stretched out in a position here, but watch, it flips in front. As soon as I hit that toe pick, it's very quick to flip in front. you got to make sure that it is quick, because if it's hanging out at the side at all, it will throw you off. You'll have a lot of weight over the left side, which is where you have no support. You're only standing on the right foot, therefore you want all of your weight, as much of it as possible, over the right side. So when we go in on the entrance edge, it's over the right side but behind. When I flip it in front, it's over the right side but in front here. So always keeping the free leg and your body weight over that right foot. You don't want to be leaning in too far on that entrance edge. But make sure when you hit that toe pick at the end of the edge, it flips in front very quickly, from behind to in front. So once you've found a nice balanced position after hitting that toe pick and that leg's in front and your arms are still out at this point, when you've found your balance, then you can really squeeze everything in nice and tight. You want your leg to be nice and tight. You don't want any gaps in between your legs in that position in the spin, and you don't want any gaps in your arms with your elbows sticking out too much. You want everything to be tight here and tight with your legs as well. This is great practice for your inner position in your jumps. And then the last thing to think about from the backspin is, at a basic level, you'll find it quite tricky coming out of it. But if you want to try and improve and you want to try and bring upper levels, try and land the backspin properly. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but you're going to be in your tight position here. The left leg comes out and pulls you back. So you really have to use a nice knee bend on that landing to get into your nice landing position. Check out the landing position video. That will be exactly the same landing position that you're going to use here on the end of that backspin. So again, you're in your backspin nice and tight. Your left leg lifts and pulls back. So it's not a wide motion with that left leg. The left leg's here in front. It lifts up close to the right leg and out behind you. And it's that motion of that left leg pulling back which is hopefully going to give you some extra force to try and get a bit of a running edge coming out of this backspin nicely. But be nice and strong with the chest lifted and the arms up and out to the right side on that landing also. So some common mistakes I see with this backspin is not being balanced and having all your weight over that right foot on the entrance, whether you're doing the entrance edge or whether you're starting off from this basic one here. Sometimes I even see people here leaving a lot of their weight on the left foot. So when they try to pick up their left foot and stand on the right foot and spin on their right foot, they've got no chance because they've left a lot of their weight over their left side and their left foot. You have to make sure that all of your weight is up and over that right side when you're in this spin. No matter what entrance you've done, you have to make sure that by the time it gets to the spin, all of your weight is over that right side. Also try to be aware of your body position when you're going into this spin, especially if you're using the slightly more advanced entrance going to the spin. You don't want to see any archness in your back. You need to be really lifted in the chest and lifted with the head as well. So the left arm's in front and the right arm's behind, but everything has to be lifted. If anything's forward here, then your body will drop into the circle and you will find it very hard to balance when you get into that backspin. You'll almost have to go from here to here and then moving around all over the shop. The less movement, the better. So if we start off here and then fold here, I've moved as little as possible with my upper body, therefore making it easier to balance in my spin. Be careful also of what your free leg is doing once you're in that spin but you haven't quite pulled in yet. Make sure your free leg doesn't wrap too much. This is quite a common mistake in skating, a wrap of the leg in jumps, and it is very tricky because there's a lot of force acting on you, so your leg just feels like it wants to wrap around here. But you have to be very conscious of that and you have to be very aware of what your free leg is doing. So it's in front of you here, nice and turned in with the toe, not too far turned out. It's turned in, it comes up to just the side of your right knee and then places down. So you've got two straight legs nice and close to each other here. So you haven't got any gap down by your ankles, you haven't got any gaps in your knees and also your thighs. You want everything nice and tight in this backspin. This is again great practice for that in-air position for your jumping. Last thing to be aware of is getting out into your landing position. This is possibly one of the most tricky bits of the backspin to complete nicely, but in order to make it happen you want to make sure that you don't bring out that leg too wide, because that's all that's going to do is just fling you off, swing you out there, and it's not going to bring any of your momentum going backwards on that landing position. It's going to come around and you won't be moving. You want that leg to be nice and efficient coming out. It comes up your skating leg, close to your skating leg as it uncrosses and pulls back, and that's going to be one of the things that helps you get a nice running edge on that landing position coming out of the backspin.